Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. It appears high-tech the Matrix Vasyl Lomachenko is subliminally getting at Gervonta Tank Davis. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button, also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, hit that bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. Best believe we working. Christmas or not, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We working. We waiting for 2018 because we ready. Hit the subscribe button. Shout out to Ego Army holding it down. Now, I want to make a video about this the other day, but just been a little bit busy with the holidays. Now I have time. Today I got time, cuz. Vasyl high-tech Lomachenko, Vasyl, he posted a picture of him hunting. He has his own high-tech jacket. He has all the gear. He has the rifle. He's holding a duck. And he says in the caption, "One of my favorite things to do, duck hunting." And he put a emoji of a duck and he capitalized duck. Now, I'm from the classic hip hop era. Battle raps, when rappers had a beef, they would get on wax and settle it lyrically and stuff like that. So to me, it sounds like, especially with the recent call outs and "Hey Floyd, stop hiding your fighter" and stuff like that, I'm gonna say he's subliminally dissing Gervonta Tank Davis. In fact, if you read the comments, that's how most people are taking this. Because again, just a week ago, he says, "Hey, Floyd Mayweather, stop hiding your fighters, and I would love to have fought you in your prime, but I'm not talking about you. By the time Floyd lets me fight Tank Davis, I'll be an old man." And he posts a gif of this old guy throwing his canes and dancing, things like that. And then he comes out with this. So to me, I'm going to classify this as a subliminal diss, right? You guys can, like I said, I'm from the school of hip hop, and you can always tell when Jay-Z was subliminally dissing Cameron or whatever the situation is. Now, I don't have to go through hip-hop history. If you guys listen to hip-hop, you'll know what I'm talking about. Want to give my full, uncut thoughts? Listen, I've said it before. Tank Davis versus Lomachenko is a good fight. Stylistic, it's a good fight. It's a fight where Lomachenko, despite what some people believe, he can be tested, in my opinion. Just because Gervonta Tank Davis has the type of explosive power where if he is able to land, and that's the if, because we know how good Lomachenko is, and he's good about making people hesitate and move around where you can't effectively get your shots off, right? But if he does land, if Tank can land something of note, he's the type of authoritative puncher where it can change the whole dynamics of a fight. I mean, even look at his last performance on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard. Definitely, he lost his belt on the scale. Wasn't his strongest performance. It wasn't anything close to as sharp as he looked versus Jose Pedraza or Liam Walsh or whatever his name is. But he still got the job done. And even though, you know what I mean, he was in there with a little known, that was his third fight for the year, and he still handled business. And to me, Fonseca was hurt. And people were like, "Oh, it was a premature stoppage, and it was illegal and all that." Fonseca was hurt, bottom line. And he was looking to survive in that last sequence before it was stopped. I mean, you see his legs buckling and he's spilling about through the ring. Anyway, my thing with Lomachenko is this. Although it's a good fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, him and his team have not really expressed any interest this year that I've seen in fighting you when they had a belt, and definitely when they don't have a belt. I've seen a tweet and Gervonta said, "Can't rush greatness." Leonard Ellaby says, "Hey, we move to the sound of our own drum," or something to that effect. So Mayweather Promotions looks like they have their own plan for Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, you could say, "Oh, he's ducking Lomachenko," or whatever you want. Fine. Whatever you guys feel, like I said, Eminem, I am whatever you say I am, that's fine. But to me, now it gets to the point where, what do you do next? Are you just going to keep berating and like challenging the guy who is not raising his hand? It looks like he's trying to go his own path, at least for right now, probably recoup the IBF belt that he lost on the scale, things of that sort. Because to me, doing this nonstop, incessantly, it seems kind of corny. That's just my honest opinion. And the real reason is because I've said this, I broke it down, and I will be on live stream sometime in the near future so we could discuss these issues. And I guarantee you there will be blood and there will be hot seats, because this is a sensitive type of subject. Now, the reason I say it's kind of corny is because you're not going to trip me up on my words. I know what I say because I'm there when I say it. Now, have I put pressure on a multitude of different fights to happen? Absolutely. You know why? Because I'm a boxing fan. And when I say Joshua should fight Wilder or Keith Thurman should fight Errol Spence, a lot of you motherfuckers are nowhere to be found. Nobody, some people say, oh, you know me, I get some UK when it's Wilder, Joshua or something, get some guys from UK, oh, you wanks, and oh, Wilder's not this and that. But I don't have anyone calling me names and racist and biased and you're the most biased channel on YouTube. But anytime someone talks and gives their feedback on Lomachenko or Triple G or Chocolatito, one of these guys that ESPN and HBO put on this pedestal, even prematurely, all of a sudden it's, oh, you're racist and stuff. Ego's army, stand up. We are not falling for that. I just told you, Gervonta Tank Davis, Lomachenko, sign me up. It's a good fight. However, he is no longer a title holder. Let him get his belt back, and then that fight makes sense. And then if you were to pressure him, it would be no different than these other situations that I've encouraged, like Wilder versus Joshua. See, this is the thing, and this is where old media tries to attempt to assassinate my character or trip me up on words and prove that I'm biased, but you won't be able to do it because I know what I'm saying, and I know what I'm saying in my heart is pure and consistent. Wilder is a WBC champion. Anthony Joshua has an IBF and a WBA belt, and he beat a guy like Vladimir Klitschko, right? That is the most meaningful fight as of right now that would do good money, and it's a unification. So if Wilder keeps pressing Joshua, like make the fight, I'm here now, don't run, I have no problem with that, because that is, say it with me, a unification. Same thing with Errol Spence Jr. targeting not just big names. See, this is the thing. Errol Spence, he's targeted Danny Garcia, but I would say he's applied more pressure to the champion, Keith Thurman, Keith one-time Thurman, right? He said, I'll fight Danny Garcia in a heartbeat. I'll fight this guy and that guy. But he's consistently applying the pliers to Keith Thurman, a champion. And just like Anthony Joshua at heavyweight, Keith Thurman is a 2-belt champion at welterweight. So I don't have problems with guys like Errol Spence Jr. gunning for these particular fights. Or here's another example, how this stuff all ties in so you guys can see the consistency. Terrence Crawford, dominant at 140. Wiped out everybody at 140. Undisputed at 140. These are things you could factually prove, right? He's moving up to 47. Now, one could argue, oh, Terrence Crawford, he hasn't done nothing at welterweight. Why are you pushing for the Jeff Horn fight? Because their promoters work together, and the WBO ranked Terrence Crawford at 147 as the #1 mandatory for Jeff Horn versus Gary Corcoran winner. Jeff Horn beat Gary Corcoran via 11th round stoppage. So instead of saying, oh, I want $4 to $6 million and finding ways and Anthony Mundine, that's why I'm pressuring certain fights like that, because this is a good fight. That's a good first test for Crawford, a power puncher, a guy with, you know what I mean, who had some weight issues, so he's gonna maybe even be bigger than Terrence Crawford mass-wise. He's a puncher, he's rugged, he's durable. He showed you that in his Gary Corcoran and Pacquiao fights. Even Randall Bailey hurt him, and then he, you know what I mean, he came to retire Randall Bailey on the stool. So there's a level of consistency. This is why this is the #1 mandatory. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Gervonta Tank Davis, Lomachenko has 1 belt, the WBO belt. To my knowledge, Gervonta Tank Davis is not his #1 mandatory with the WBO. And I might even go look at the most updated rankings to prove that and put the clip in this particular video. So therefore, I understand calling for a big fight with a former champion. But again, if it seems that Mayweather Promotions and or Gervonta Tank Davis have other plans, then at what point are you going to pursue the fights that actually can happen next? You know what I'm saying? Move up to 35. If Mikey Garcia in February gets past Sergey Lipinets, you called him out. He has videos online, Mikey Garcia saying, guess what? I'll fight at 135. I'll come back to 135 where I am a champion, unlike Gervonta Tank Davis. Davis has no belt in any division at the moment. Can he get one? Absolutely. He can get a belt, but I think that's the goal, right? And then some people, this is the argument. Oh, but Tank Davis, if he fights Lomachenko and beats him, then he could get a belt. But if you're ranked with the IBF, your former IBF title holder, just in January, you lost your belt on the scale. I mean, why wouldn't you want to fight on a guy like the Japanese dude that allegedly beat Tevin Farmer? He probably doesn't have any kind of US deal like Lomachenko has with Top Rank to be on ESPN. So why not go after your old belt where you're already ranked? I mean, and it's going to be, I would say that's an easier fight. Lomachenko, I mean, we all know he's skilled. So why not take that? You know what I mean? And then try to unify, you know what I mean? Get some fights on your belt, because we know Lomachenko, he has 2 gold medals and he's 29 years old. Gervonta Tank Davis said this in the interview. They said he has to rush his career because he came into the pro game later, which is true. That's a true fact. He came in later because he stuck around in the amateurs. So although I know a lot of people, because they don't like Mayweather, they don't like Tank, they don't like anything associated with Mayweather, they're going to keep encouraging this. But to me, it's going to get old real quick when there's fights you should be pushing for and encouraging, i.e. unifications at 130, or the challenges that will actually prove something, like Mikey Garcia at 35. Jorge Linares called you out. See, this is the problem, where when I have to listen to what old media puts out there, and then when I have to correct the story and give my thoughts, then now you guys say I'm hating on this fighter because they built up this fighter and said all this other stuff, and I'm rebuttaling it. But at the end of the day, I'm no stranger to this. I've done it long enough. You're not gonna knock me off my pivot and make me feel how you want me to feel, because most of you motherfuckers, every time I put you in a hot seat, you get decimated. You know what I'm saying? So this is how I feel about the whole Lomachenko situation. Furthermore, this is proof. Aside from Tank not having a belt, his last performance he lost his title on the scale, so that shows a bit of a discipline issue. And we can all agree that that wasn't his strongest performance. He had 3 performances in 2017. Jose Pedraza, Liam Walsh, and then that Fonseca dude. Fonseca was clearly, aside from losing your title on the scale, Fonseca was clearly his worst performance. If you look at it, he managed to get it done, stayed undefeated on all that. So why are people wanting to see a 2-time gold medalist? Why are they so badly want to see a guy who has no belt coming off his worst performance out of 3 this year, right? And on top of that, his team looks like they have other plans. Like I said, you guys call it a duck, say he's ducking, whatever you guys want to. I don't care about that type of stuff. But you guys call it whatever you want to. So that's the version of Tank you want to see Lomachenko, who we know is a good fighter. See, that's what I'm saying. Mikey Garcia, he just beat Broner. So if he beats Sergey Lipinets, and then Lomachenko moves up 5 pounds to fight Mikey Garcia, then there's nothing anyone can say. If he beats Lipinets, he's a champion at 140, he's a champion at 35, and he will get more credit. So I'm actually trying to help Lomachenko. I'm trying to help him and his following. If you really want to prove that you belong with the historic greats right now with 11 fights and a loss, then you got to take the risk that no one can deny. Oh, this guy was inactive. Oh, this guy's last performance wasn't good. Oh, this guy was just learning. Oh, this guy was old, or 2 divisions or 1 division under you. So why not call for these unifications like Miguel Berchelt? Miguel Berchelt, I would say, has more of a similar style to Salido, the style that on record has beaten Lomachenko, than a lot of guys in the division. That's a good fight. He has the frame. He showed heart. So if Lomachenko can make that champion quit, who's younger than him, maybe not as experienced, but he's a good fighter. And I mean, I can't say no Mexican fighters quit, because we know that's a lie. I've seen Mexican fighters quit. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. and Jr., Victor Ortiz, etc. But I mean, I haven't seen it in Berchelt that when it's not going his way, he's just ready to quit. So if Lomachenko can do that, that would be impressive. It's a young guy, you break his will, and no matter what, you get his belt. You get his belt, so you're one step closer to undisputed. Same thing with Machado and what's the other dude? The guy that beat Tevin Farmer. And I'm not saying any of these guys beat him, but if it's as easy as you guys say, then why are you pick on Tank Davis, who has no belt, collect these other belts, and then go after the money fight and see if he's ready to fight you then, or move up if you can't get that money fight. I just feel like the amount of praise and pressure they're putting on Lomachenko is getting pretty extreme, because now we want to see him. If you're comparing him to Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather, Pretty Boy Floyd, or Pacquiao, Roy Jones, then show me stuff Roy Jones has done, moved up in weight. Nobody could fuck with him from 1988 to 2003 or so. Show me, move up to heavyweight. I'm not saying he should move up to heavyweight, but you guys get what I'm saying. Move up a weight division, right? Floyd Mayweather, another person. Floyd Mayweather, he didn't just take fights at 54 and just stay up there. He came back down to welterweight. Lomachenko can go up there. Let's say Jorge Linares, who called him out, beats Mercita Gesta. Go up to 35, beat him. He's a champion up there. And then drop back down and then pursue Berchelt or Machado or unifying down there. It's just like, these are the types of chances I want to see to show what Lomachenko is really made of. I think he's a true fighter. I think he's a skilled, talented fighter. I think he's a competitor, but you got to show me something. I mean, realistically, if you look at his 2017, some people are saying he's a fighter of the year. He beat Jason Sosa, who definitely should have had a loss to Nicholas Walters, right? He beat Miguel Mariaga coming off a loss a few months before he fought Lomachenko, moved up from 126 to 130, and he beat a 37-year-old Rigondeaux 2 divisions under him. These are all facts. So I get it. You want to fight Tank Davis, but if he's not trying to fight you, you're 29. You got to move on with your career. Take one of these other chances. Unification would be great at 130. You have to like really analyze this. Lomachenko has one belt in the division. Guys like Anthony Joshua and Keith Thurman, they're not even being mentioned top 5 pound for pound, and they got 2 belts. You know what I mean? And Joshua could say, yo, I beat Vladimir Klitschko. Who has Lomachenko beat that you would put up there with a Klitschko? A Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman, same thing. He could say, yo, I beat Sean Porter and Danny Garcia back to back. You know what I mean? A once beaten guy who lost to a champion who had title defenses, Kell Brook, and then he that was it. That was Sean Porter's only loss. And Sean Porter's right back into title contention. So that's how you know he's a good fighter. So to me, it's not about hating Lomachenko or whatever. And, oh, you're protecting Gervonta. I'm not protecting him. But if his team is not trying to make the fight and they got their own career and they publicly said we're not going to be rushed into play your game, then all this duck hunt and subliminal and stuff, start pushing for fights that you can make. And this is the funny thing, that the media, old media, not new media, because you know how we get down, Eagles Army, we working, right? This is what they do. They put these fighters, Chocolatito and Triple G and Lomachenko, on a pedestal. They're good fighters, but they say and preach to the public that they're the most avoided and no one wants to fight him. That could be true. Some people don't want to fight him, but how are you the most avoided when I can literally name at least 3 people who have called you out? So, okay, let's say Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't want to fight you. I can name at least 3 people in or around your division that called for you, right? There's a guy on Mayweather Promotion. He got like 6 fights, and he called for the fight, right? Jose Ramirez, who fought Lomachenko in the amateurs and just came off a Mike and D Reed win, great stoppage. Then he's gonna fight Amir Imam. He said after that, he said he can get it rocking. He said, I'll come to 35 for Lomachenko. Mikey Garcia has called out Lomachenko. Lomachenko has called out Mikey Garcia. Jorge Linares said, I would love that Lomachenko fight. I could fuck with his style or whatever, right? And then as far as the unifications in your division, those are all good fights. And at the very least, you could say, hey, I beat these guys that got their belts, and I'm steps closer to undisputed, period. So that's my thoughts. I'll do a live stream at some point soon, and we'll talk about this more, because I'm not going to let y'all just put dumbass comments, because I'm not going to respond to all of that. You guys can respond to them in the comment section, but I like my prey to squirm in the hot seat. Let me know what you guys think. Lomachenko again looks like he's trying to put Gervonta Tank Davis in the vice grip, but again, my thing is this: he doesn't have a belt. It doesn't look like he's trying to fight you. At what point are you going to move on and start pursuing the fights that probably can happen next? You guys let me know in that comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.